Received the Honorable Rob Blair, Sheriff for Elijah Hooper, Deputy 2 for a grade increase to Deputy 3, years of service, with a salary change from $64,446 to $67,668, and that's effective 9/1/25. We do have a letter of resignation received from Jennifer Swisher, Emergency Communications Director, for Robin Baker, and that's effective 8/11/25. On the August 21st meeting, Commissioner Hardy was not here, so I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Abstain due to absence.
Let the record show that Commissioner Hardy abstained due to absence. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. There's nothing on the correction assessment log from the assessor this week. Board and meeting reports. Mr. Whitaker. We'll go from the other side of the room this morning.
Well, you all are lucky because I don't have it.
It's like you were lucky. Mr. Kelly.
Yesterday, I had a senior service meeting, and things are going well there financially. Staff-wise, I'm very pleased. I did want to mention to you guys again, if you consider coming on September 18th to the Heroes Dinner, it's a very reasonable, and it's a fundraiser for the senior center, and your support will be greatly appreciated. Consider that Thursday evening, so September the 18th. Get you 6 or 6. Have an ambulance authority meeting this evening. We did not meet last month, so it should be very interesting. Good meeting. Also, next week, I'm going to be attending the Edgefield Town Council meeting next Wednesday evening to discuss the impact fee thing with them, the Town Council, because they do building permits in the town of Edgefield. And as well as we're going to be there to talk about the public sewer system. There's some issues with it that need to be addressed in the future, here near future. I want to be transparent and discuss those issues with the town council. So. And then yesterday morning, Commissioner Doug and I were on WRNR, and that's all that I have. Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Boyd.
Yes, sir. I had a few meetings this week. Was on the radio on Tuesday. Mostly talked about the impact fees. Thought it went okay. Educated some things on that. Mr. Gilstrap had a lot of questions. I thought we informed him pretty well, myself and Mr. Boswell. And, got through that, and then went on and I had sat in on a meeting here about the public safety building. I thought that went well. Pretty excited about that there on the north end of the county. Then I had a CVB meeting. Little disruptions there, but I think we got some things squared away on Tuesday. Then had the CVB meeting yesterday, the general meeting for the CVB. The hotel stays are up 4% July, first positive number in 12 months. So that's a good thing. They replaced Tracy, what's her last name? Sherman?
Used to be Sherman.
Yeah.
I guess it maybe still is.
With Tony Marantano. That's the board elected position. They gave a support grant for first ever Berkeley County barn crawl by the WVU Extension Office for $2,000. Mark Jordan had some travel writers in town on August 7th. He took them around to a lot of places in town. That went really well. He has some more coming the last week of October. The The Berkeley Springs Film Festival will now be called the Martinsburg Apollo Film Festival. It's coming to Martinsburg in 2026. So that's a plus. The Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Association is having a 2026 Civil War event here. They'll be at the Holiday Inn for 3 or 4 days, making tours of Jefferson County, Berkeley County, and different Civil War sites. That will be April 9th to the 11th of 2026, Thursday through Saturday. And other than that, that was the synopsis of that meeting yesterday. And today I have the museum board tonight.
Very good. Commissioner Hardy.
Good morning, everyone. Apologize for not being here last week. I had to have some medical tests done, and I was kind of working at the will and pleasure of my doctor, so I apologize for not being here last week. Don't have any meetings to report on. I'd like to address 2 different things. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for approving Mr. Brandon Franklin to the Planning Commission. Things on the Planning Commission are going very well. Brandon's very, very excited about being on that board. Very excited, and that board is we're not having any quorum issues right now. A lot of good work's being done there, and Jim, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on that board. I've always enjoyed the Planning Commission. Even before I was an elected official, I was on the Planning Commission. So yeah, it's a very good board to be a part of, and it's very well run. So thank you guys for that. And then I'd just like to take a second to tell everyone about a great loss to West Virginia. My friend Tim Armstead unfortunately passed away and lost his battle with cancer. Tim was a longtime delegate. He was the minority leader when the Republicans were in the minority in the House. He was the first Republican majority leader and speaker. So he went from being the minority leader to being the speaker when the Republicans took over control of the House. Was probably the first Republican speaker of the House in about 86 years. But
I would thought maybe that would be the first ever.
Yeah, there probably was some earlier, but Tim was a remarkable man. Not only was he a delegate and Speaker of the House, he was a Supreme Court justice. He was appointed to the Supreme Court. He was a very passionate about his values, but he was a nonpartisan guy. He had no problem reaching across the aisle. He would work with people that he did not agree with and their political side of it, but just a very a good man, a very good man in West Virginia. It's a great loss to West Virginia. Tim did it all for the right reasons. He really did. He represented his people. He lived in the Elkview area right outside of Kanawha and had a portion of Kanawha County or Charleston that he represented. And but I will tell you, out of all I will miss our very cordial and upfront conversations in the hallway of the Capitol that I had with Tim. He would always stop and talk with you. And I remember taking my children to the Capitol and him taking them to the Supreme Court side of the building and letting them set up there and showing them the offices, and just a really a loss for West Virginia. So I wanted to take a moment to remember Tim Armstead and everything that he's done for the state of West Virginia.
I remember meeting Tim early when they called the Mike Hall were the minorities at the county office, and that was early in his career. He was always a soft-spoken and well-versed, and I probably remember him better than what he remembers me. Super nice guy.
Yeah, I can tell you, so back during the judicial race, Tim was running against Judge Wilkes. And, I had a Judge Wilkes pin on. Obviously, I was supporting Judge Wilkes for the Supreme Court seat, and that didn't work out. And Tim ended up, getting that seat, and he swore me in as a delegate. And but he never held that grudge against me. I'm supporting the Eastern Panhandle candidate, which and which I have a relationship with, and but he never said a word about that, and was just always a gentleman.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. State Senator Eric talked about him on R&R yesterday morning for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right during our show, actually. And that was everybody was saying, good man, really good man. I wanted to go back on something H.D. was talking about, that thing with the Civil Shenandoah Valley field. They're having a conference here next April 9th, 10th, and 11th, and They're expecting 200 attendees. There's going to be folks from all over the United States there. And it's going to be a real opportunity for us to show off Berkeley County and inform them of all the Civil War history that's here. And it's a really big deal, I think, to host it here and to be able to get this interest, because a lot of these folks are the ones that commit a lot of private funds to this kind of thing. And it's a good chance for us to show off our county. So thrilled that it's going to be here.
I'm sorry.
If I could, Mr. President, and to echo Mr. Hardy's comment, there was another loss in West Virginia this week, a few days ago, in a coal mining accident. Just so happens it's one of your deputy sheriff's brothers.
I had the opportunity to speak with Bill yesterday and to share our concerns and condolences to them. So they had tragically lost his life yesterday, so the day before yesterday.
Don't forget the 4 kids in Minneapolis as well, and that shooting yesterday.
Absolutely. On my landmarks meeting, at a roundabout discussion on Route 9 and Stribling Road and Harlan Springs Road, where they all come together there. The State Department of Highways has reached out to landmarks to see if there's any historic significance in that area. So it sounds like that project is moving forward. Cat and I were on WRNR radio this past week. Gary, Jack, and HD and myself sat in on the public safety meeting where we have law enforcement at the table, fire, EMS, and the fire board part of that discussion. So that project is trying to figure out what everybody's needs are and fit it on the piece of property that we have, and dealing with the stormwater concerns there. So it's going to be a tremendous facility. I think once we get it all narrowed down and pulled together. So that's coming along.
Mr. President, I did have a chance to be on WRNR myself on the radio. I don't consider it a meeting, but it's always nice to be thought of them when they ask me to come. We talked a lot about the our lobbyists and what they performed and how it helped us over the years, as well as the whole state.
We have a new application from Jeffrey Bohm for the building commission. I don't know if any of you all know Jeff.
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
I know Jeff. It's Bain. Jeff Bain.
And
It doesn't look like Bain, but it's Bain.
Yeah, it's Bain.
I would entertain a motion for his appointment to the building commission this morning. He's got quite a history with him and a tremendous amount of knowledge and integrity. And
I so move.
Is he replacing?
well, actually, Norwood Bentley is wanting to retire.
Okay, that's why.
So
But you still have, there's still open spots, so.
There's still another open spot.
yes, and if
Well, Norwood can't retire. He's a young man.
well, I agree.
He's into cruises now, so
Yeah.
he found a better way of life.
We'll have Penny tell him.
Yeah.
So we do have a motion.
I'll second
to
that
appoint
motion.
it, and it's been seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. We have a new application for the fire board, and this will be for Station 30 that we received application from Bradley Crow, Matthew Stotler, and Joseph Kidwell. If you could make arrangements to get them for their interviews, please.
Which is company 30?
Hedgesville.
Hedgesville. I'm learning.
Each company has a board?
No, each department will have an opportunity to place somebody on the fire board as their rotation.
So
goes.
all three of these are going for the same position?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It's going to come down to a
Well,
thumbnail.
and we'll come down, we'll choose one of the three.
Right, I know that, yeah.
Let's see, Aaron's not here. Jennifer, are you prepared to come on? Good morning. Come on up. Jennifer Smith, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I am here today. Everyone should have in your read aheads a resolution for the participation in the Industrial Access Road Grant. So this is a grant that the Development Authority would like to apply for with the permission of the County Commission to assist with the CMC Access Road. We are applying for 400,000 unmatched and 300,000 matching with this particular grant. I will just a little bit of a history. So we did apply last year. We did receive that full award and are working through the design as we speak.
So this is for the same thing again this year?
Yes, it is for the same amount. So every county can apply for one project per year. And this is the project, they are on a fiscal year, so it does open July 1. So I am applying early to make sure that we receive those funds for this project.
Yeah, and that the temporary road there is it's being used and it's really helped the mouth through the Peckin and Scrabble Road and Brown Road, Reddington Road to get that traffic off of those secondary roads.
And I will say, so that is a temporary entrance, so we are doing a redesign to make it better for sight distance. And it will potentially have turning lanes and potentially a light.
And this is $1 million in total? You said
So
300 matched? plus
So
400?
for this year, it will be 700,000. So 400,000 unmatched, 300,000 matching, so 150, and then 150.
Okay.
So $700 or 700,000 total for this project.
Yeah, these are great grants. I mean,
Yes.
like Jennifer said, every county's available for one of these a year. The money is set aside. And I'm not sure exactly where, does that come through the Development Authority? Is that where
No, it actually comes through the Department of Highways.
Okay.
And they do put about $3 million into a bucket that is
Right.
then allocated per county.
Yeah.
It definitely helps. It does have to be an industrial use.
Sure.
There's a lot of information as a part of the application where you have to submit jobs and the investment as a part of the application. So they are vetted. There's many applications that they do grant each county. It's very helpful because roads are extremely expensive, and this is just a portion of what the total road will cost.
Yes.
I think the last one that you did was for Clorox. Is that
We did, yes, we did a portion of the pavement for Clorox as well.
I think it's something that we apply every year for something from somewhere. in the county.
Absolutely.
And there's probably counties that don't have projects to apply for this, and we will have one every year, hopefully, for sure.
Potentially, yes, we
Yeah,
will.
yeah, this is a good grant, and yeah, I definitely recommend that we apply for this every year and come up with $150,000 for the match, and this is definitely
So the 150,000 will either potentially come from Shockey or in CMC.
And when they go to move the road for the permanent thing, that's going to be, I assume, an extra cost now.
It is an additional cost, and I'm working with Thrasher Engineering where they're developing a new budget for that.
you're going to move that road further south.
Towards the south.
It's going to come, yes, further south.
But our constituents and taxpayers and homeowners of Bennington are very happy that they are now using the construction road and not coming down through Bennington and up through the mouth of the Peck. And that worked for what we had to use it for, but I'm glad that we're able to come in a more direct route and not affect those
Absolutely.
homeowners.
Yeah, and speaking on the new road, there's utilities that need to be moved, which is an additional cost, that nobody was anticipating.
Correct.
When we go to Charleston, I think it's on the 24th, we'll be speaking with the Secretary of Transportation and urging that turn lane and traffic
light.
signal, and possibly even be in a position maybe to assist with TIF funds to help pay for that, because that will be for the greater safety of that traveling community. So hopefully we can make those things happen.
And we know the more local funds that we can bring to bear for these projects moves those projects further to the front of the line on the state side. So
Taken there. Okay, I need a motion to adopt the resolution for the IAR grant.
so move, Mr. President.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. At 10 o'clock, I don't think it's here yet. Okay, yes, please, thank you.
That must be Porty out in the hall.
I can hear a bunch of them out there. Come forward, Aaron, you're up. I can hear you out there. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Oh, should print it up.
Richard.
Morning,
Morning.
Richard.
Good morning.
Do you have any checks for us, Richard?
Let me check.
No.
Great. Well, I'm Erin. I'm the Jobs and Hope Transition Agent for Jobs and Hope West Virginia, covering Berkeley County since the program's inception and since 2019. As always, thanks to you all, and especially Penny, for making this happen, and for some folks that are joining us today. I think this is the third time we've been able to do this, and always grateful to kind of come back. Obviously, the folks that we brought with us, those are your employees who do some really, really great work, and they make my work possible. So we're really grateful for them. And then, obviously, we have a proclamation to read, but if Tim or Kate or Stephanie wanted to say anything, to just kind of shout out what we're doing here today and why we're here, that'd be great. Then we can do some reading.
Morning, Tim.
Morning, Tim.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
You all are well aware of the work that you all have made possible in Berkeley County to combat the drug problem that's been prevalent for quite a while and continues to be. There are a lot of parents in the community who have lost children. Literally, their children have died because they used a drug that killed them. It's tragic. I didn't come here prepared with a bunch of numbers to share, but there are many, many people, hundreds of people who live in Berkeley County, parents, children, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters who have died. And they didn't die because they wanted to die. They died because, for a variety of different reasons, people start using substances, and there are some people that cannot stop once they start. You all have heard me say this many times before. I'll say it again. Recovering drug addict myself and working in the field now for 20 years, I've never met a drug addict who likes their condition. They do not want to be addicted to these substances. They want to be normal, but they haven't figured out how to do that. So we do a lot of really good work to help those folks get on the other side. But there are people who die. So we appreciate Erin and the work that she does, and we appreciate the fact that she's going to read this proclamation and bring some recognition to this problem. And we're grateful to you all as commissioners for allowing this work to happen. You all have decided to invest a lot of resources into the lives of Berkeley County residents, and we appreciate it. Because there are some people that think they just need to go to jail. They don't have value, they're moral failures. But you all don't think that. You actually believe that they're humans with value who need some help. So you've done a lot of good work that's very, very cost effective. It's saving the taxpayers money, and it's saving the lives of people that live in our county. And there's great value to it. So I'm grateful to you all for allowing it to happen.
Well, thank you and your team. I know there's lives changed. There's absolutely no question about that. I've seen it. I've witnessed and worked in the areas of the overdoses and the death. CPR probably more than my last 10 years in career, and I did my first 30. So I know it's real, but the work that you all are doing is absolutely tremendous. And I think that the key to the success are the folks that you have behind you and out your other buildings today.
100%.
Because they understand, most of them understand, so they're able to truly help that person. And it's pretty rewarding. Like a lot of times if I'm a little bit early for a meeting, sometimes I'm late, but most time I'm early, I will sit in the lobby and just greet the people that come through and just wonder, man, I hope you can get healthy. I hope. And this is not a free pass. There's accountability. And I think that's what's really important to know, and they need to know that there is accountability to this process. And you guys do a wonderful job, and there'd be a whole lot more funerals without you.
Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Sir.
My name's Richard Dennis. I'm with the governor's office. Aaron called me. I used to do a lot of work with these organizations when I was with the Attorney General's office, and don't do so much now as I did, but I was honored that Aaron called me and asked me to help read part of the proclamation that they're going to present today. So, and as a matter of fact, I have a niece who works with these guys real close who went through the whole gamut of things and is doing great because of them. So anyway, I'd like to read the beginning of the proclamation: International Overdose Awareness Day and National Recovery Month. Whereas the Berkeley County Commission recognizes August 31st, 2025 as International Overdose Awareness Day, a solemn occasion that raises awareness about the devastating impact of drug overdoses worldwide. And whereas the Berkeley County Commission acknowledges September as National Recovery Month, a time to honor and support individuals who have overcome substance use disorders and to promote the importance of recovery in our community. And whereas the Berkeley County Commission wholeheartedly celebrates the dedicated staff and resilient participants of the Berkeley County Day Report Center, whose unwavering commitment has positively impacted the lives of countless individuals and the community as a whole. And whereas the Berkeley County Commission proudly supports Jobs and Hope West Virginia, the state's comprehensive response to the substance use disorder crisis, and commends their partnership with Berkeley Day Report Center and the Berkeley County Resource Recovery Center.
Whereas the Berkeley County Commission extends its heartfelt congratulations to Adult Education, James Rumsey Technical Institute, and Blue Ridge Community and Technical College students in recovery, and commends these education partners that seek out to meet the needs and serve the Berkeley County residents and employers. Whereas Berkeley County Commission reaffirms its commitment to being a recovery-friendly and second-chance-friendly employer, recognizing the immense contributions of individuals in recovery both within the workplace and the broader community. And whereas the Berkeley County Commission commends individuals and agencies that have contributed to the decline of overdose deaths, the Berkeley County Commission renews our unyielding commitment and support to continue this life-saving work until overdose deaths in Berkeley County are reduced to zero.
That'd be a great day. That'd be a great day to celebrate.
Like I said, we've been doing this for 3 years, and that's the first time we've been able to say that. And we want to keep it coming.
I just wanted to say something real quickly. I wanted to, thank Tim and all the people that work over there and the work that you do. But as someone who was sometimes maybe earlier in my political career was on the other side of this, thinking that maybe we could just lock people up and arrest our way out of this, it didn't take me too long to figure out that it was going to have to be a multiple-pronged approach to be able to make differences here, and with education and treatment and with law enforcement side of it. But we work on arrest our way out of this. And pretty quickly, I was able to make that transition. And I support you guys wholeheartedly, 100%. But the thing that gives the most validation to this, what you guys do, is the people that go through your treatment program, then that come back to work for you. I think that is the biggest validation of what you're doing and that it's working, and those people see the change in their lives, and they want to make that change in other people's lives. So thank you for all that you do, and I just wanted to point that out to me, that someone has been through that struggle and has worked through it and has been able to come out the other side now wants to come and work for your organization.
I want to share something, a glowing example of what you just pointed out. Richard mentioned his niece, Crystal Peterson. I want to make up a number here. 6 or 7 years ago, she was still in the tail end of active addiction. She overdosed. EMS fortunately arrived shortly before she died and administered naloxone, and she was revived because of that drug. A few years ago, we actually had a thing over at War Memorial Park where the girl who administered the naloxone, who still works for EMS, we brought her, and they met each other. They hadn't met each other for some years. Crystal found and has maintained recovery since then. She's been working for you all now for 5 years, 6 years, something like that. She started as a peer recovery coach. After a few years, she moved into the position of peer recovery coach supervisor. She's now a therapist at the Day Report Center. If it were not for naloxone being available, she would be dead, and her family would still be dealing with the sort of
Tragic loss.
Yeah, I don't even. How do you characterize what a parent has to go through dealing with the loss of a child? But she's a glowing example of what you just mentioned. I love bringing program graduates on board, because who better to do this work than people who have walked in the shoes of an addict, found and maintained recovery, and now can tell other people their story. I mean, I don't even know how many now. You probably don't either. We've hired a number of graduates through the years. We currently have a number working for us. So it's a big part of why our program is successful.
Those who have never experienced this addiction have no comprehension or understanding whatsoever of what it takes to beat it. And every time somebody does, it's almost a true miracle is what it is. It's that strong of an addiction.
Yeah.
You have to be stronger than the addiction.
Yeah,
There's
which
a
is
lot.
an amazing thing. Your all's efforts are just amazing.
And there's a lot of different offices and a lot of different people to thank for the success, other than you, of course, and your staff. But had it not been for Doug Copenhaver and Dan Doye pushing this idea that we can get beyond this, we can help these folks, and they're not all young. They're not all young. When I sit over there, they're not all teenagers and 20-year-olds coming through those doors.
No, not at all.
You know, so, but truthfully, had it not been for their vision and their drive and their fight to make this happen, we wouldn't be here talking about this today. So our court system, our prosecutors, our magistrates, and our community is what has helped to make this successful. So
That's right.
thank you. Thank everybody involved.
Thank you all.
Thank you. So we need a motion to adopt the proclamation if nobody else has anything to add.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. And thank you all.
Sure.
Sure.
Because you have some of those program graduates
We do.
that are like,
I
would love to be in a picture.
We'll accommodate that here in just a few minutes. Next up, we have Ms. Deborah Hammond with the William Henshaw Chapter Proclamation for Constitution Week. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much. I'm here again this month in regards to Constitution Week. You have before you the proclamation, September 17th, which is traditionally the date in which we do the ringing of the bells on the steps of the historic courthouse, marks the 238th anniversary of our founding document. And we try very hard through education, which is, of course, one of the pillars of DAR, to spread information, particularly to our young people, about the importance of the Constitution. We have pocket constitutions that we pass out at local schools, and we try to emphasize the importance of people understanding that founding document and also reading it and having that as part of their understanding of how we came to be the country that we are. So we do this proclamation in honor of Constitution Week. And as I said, we will be ringing the bells on September 17th at 4 o'clock on the steps of the historic courthouse. And we would certainly welcome any or all of you who have time to be with us that day. We do that in conjunction with the Shenandoah chapter. So that's a joint project that we do each year. And it's just one more way of trying to spread the information and the word about the importance of our founding documents, about the importance of patriotism, and all that makes our country so special as really a pillar of the world.
And we thank you and your organization for continually bringing this before us, to bring it to the forefront. It is the foundation of our country and how we operate and the rules that we follow or try to follow, and it's important to our existence as a free country. So thank you for keeping it in the forefront. And would you like to read the proclamation now?
Certainly. William Henshaw, chapter of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Constitution Week proclamation. Whereas September 17th, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to the magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Berkeley County Commission, Martinsburg, West Virginia, does hereby designate the week of September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week, and urges all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involved.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, need a motion to approve the proclamation.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very
Always a
much.
pleasure to see you, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a break so we can get a few pictures. We're just going to take a 10-minute, 15-minute break. right, we're back in session. The hammer started coming unscrewed. Somebody been whacking that thing.
I remember one day it went flying across the floor.
It will. Next up, Chad Weinbrenner, Deputy County Administrator on Fire Department holiday schedule. Morning, sir.
Morning.
There you go.
Yeah. For you today is a request to amend the fire department schedule as it pertains to holidays. The fire chief had reached out to me about a month or two ago, as all of that staff is now transitioned to 24-hour holidays. We have discovered that it's creating, certain unforeseen things that are popping up that we're spot fixing, and one of them is the holiday. Currently, right now, based on county standard, holiday is paid on a calendar day, which means that the holiday starts at midnight and it ends at 11:59 the following day, just prior to midnight. So it covers a 24-hour period, but that's not the 24-hour period that the firefighters work. The firefighters work 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. And if a firefighter is scheduled to work, for instance, Christmas Day, their holiday time will start at 6 a.m. on Christmas Day, but right now it ends at midnight on Christmas Day because the previous 6 hours are actually paid to the firefighter that they're relieving the shift before. We believe that it is better for the fire department, not only administratively, but also better for the people on the shift to have that holiday paid in their entire shift. So the request that the fire chief has made that we reviewed, Anthony reviewed it legally, is that we change the fire department's schedule to mirror what their shift schedule is, to be paid from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. And I'll let the fire chief speak a little more impact that would have on them.
We're not changing their shift from midnight to midnight. Their shift stays 6 to 6.
Right.
We're just changing how the holiday pay is paid.
That's right.
Instead of calendar day, it'll be paid from the beginning of the shift to the end of the shift. Yeah.
It's a little better benefit for that person for Christmas Day and to receive 24 hours of holiday pay than to receive 18 hours.
Will the Christmas Eve guys still get it or no?
Only
It all
if
depends on how if Christmas Eve falls in our.
If the governor were to, or the county or the governor were to elect Christmas Eve to be a holiday, the people working that day would get it. If you take Christmas off, take Labor Day coming up, for example, you would have, if we don't change this, the folks that are working Sunday at midnight earn 8 hours of holiday for working on Labor Day, but they're really only working coming into the next shift of Labor Day. They're not actually working the holiday itself. So it's the firefighter that's coming on at 6 a.m. that's working Labor Day and is on duty.
I mean, for us, it's financially, it's neutral.
Yeah. Right.
It's a wash.
Yeah, we're just cleaning up
But
the
I mean,
pot.
yeah, 24 is 24, whether you're paying 6 or 18.
Right.
But the guys that are working that actual holiday, 24 hours,
It's,
everybody will end up benefiting out of it.
In essence, which would be double time, is what you're saying?
Yes, we pay holiday double time, yes.
Double time for the fireman, and if you're not working, like I know with the civil service and the sheriff's department, even those that
They're
don't
different.
work get time and a half.
It's not that way.
Your fire
But
department
in
is
the fire
not civil
department, it's only
service.
if you work, and you get double time.
yeah, and as Eddie said, it's financially neutral. It's just cleaning up a policy. I mean, sometimes when we put these new policies in place, going to all the paid fire that we have, or sometimes there's adjustments that need to be made in policy, and that's nothing more than what we're doing here. It's just making an adjustment in policy.
It's not your typical work day
Far from
or
it.
work hours, so. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Excuse me.
Half of their day would be.
It's if that's declared a holiday, then we would treat it for whatever the holiday declaration would be.
Do we have that as a half day
You
now?
do.
I thought we did.
You do. It's the same.
I believe Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are your half day.
Correct.
Yeah, governor usually, right. They'll extend it
You
by a
know.
full day is what you're saying, yeah.
Right.
Anything else? Need a motion to approve the schedule update.
So moved, Mr. President.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, have a good
Sure. Next up, Mr. Wine.
While it's not a policy, the commission currently has on its books an order that deals with the way that the assessor brings to you taxpayer error exonerations. And you'll recall at a meeting prior that you asked to have that revisited. In front of you is a new order presented that aligns with Western Code 11327 that does a couple things. One, contrary to your processes currently, you were going to give for your consideration taxpayers an opportunity to make a one-time error, if it truly is an error, where you would have the ability to perform the exoneration and move forward. Really, that's all it does. The assessor has read it, had absolutely no issues with it. I met with him Friday or whatever it was, and it will be his responsibility to track, has it happened before, has it not? Whether you do or you don't know, every one of us have a file down there based on our property. So it's just some cleanup. It was at the direction of the commission. So this order, if so chosen, will fix that, so you won't be faced with denying them as they come to you. And on instances where it is an error, taxpayer error, and it truly was an error and happened only the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very uncomfortable the way we've operated this in the past. It's like we did not believe what the person was telling us standing in front of us, and until you prove me that I can't believe you, I will believe you. And a lot of folks have made those mistakes, and we all make mistakes, and I just think that this gives a person an opportunity that when they made that mistake, that it is forgiven the same way we forgive them when the office makes the mistake.
Can we clarify this though? So if it's their first time, it's not automatically waived. It still has to come to us for a vote on it.
That's correct.
And we still could vote not to.
It's completely up to you.
Right.
When Anthony wrote the order, it's written well, and yes,
Right.
the commission is still
Just
100%
clarifying
makes the
that,
decision.
And in the same note, if someone comes before us a second or third time, it's still, if they have a second or third incident, that will be brought before us too, correct?
Each and every instance
Is
is
it we walk
your
before us,
discretion.
correct.
They come to you. That's correct.
So I do have a question then. So we won't have a page that's mixed. These two guys, their first time, these two guys, multiple time, right? Like,
No, so what we'll work with the assessor to help them make that. So I think, in my mind, what would make it easier is when they bring them up for exoneration, the first exoneration would be first-time mistakes, right? You could deal with those by themselves, instead of them being blended in with all the others. So
That
just a
would-
little process. And I talked to Larry about that, and he's amenable to whatever makes it not complicated when they get in here.
so there'll be, instance,
First
there
time
could be
instances.
multiple sheets of
Correct.
taxpayer error, first
time,
offender, not
yes,
first offender.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Because it get real confusing real fast.
Exactly.
Well, I thought
exactly.
I heard Larry say that he did keep an account of those.
No, he does,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying
I'm not
is,
presenting
there
them.
could
Presenting,
be,
yeah.
there could be a day when there's first timers and non-first timers. I just want to make sure they're not on the same
Right.
paper to be approved at the same time, because then we have a mess.
Correct.
And is it my understanding that if this is an order by the commission, and if any of the five of us change, it'd have to be a new order adopted?
It says last line.
This is really, it's clear in there, this isn't binding. Kind of like bind
Of a future
This
board.
is really just to inform the public of how you really intend. Statute in case unintentional mistakes and really just continue to do that.
I like this direction. I like moving this direction. I'm like Eddie. I always had a problem that, man, we have apples and oranges here. We're not treating them the same. So I like moving this direction and at least see how it goes.
And the other thing is, there hasn't been much opposite to that, putting them on.
Right. When you need that tax receipt to get your tag, you forgot to put that vehicle on, then you're going to the tax office and trying to figure that out.
Okay, anything else? Need a motion to adopt the policy.
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Next up is Gary with the network equipment for.
Yeah, so this should be real easy for the commission, as it's not your money we're spending. So this makes it nice. As you may or may not be aware, your IT department is actually a vendor in the process of the new EPTA building. As part of that, all of the acquisitions for the equipment that we need to implement in there to satisfy all of the FTA rules and regulations for Lane to be able to pay it, publicly bid it and ordered. So the first one is for network equipment. You had two bidders. The low bidder was not compliant with specifications, so the second bidder, Berry Solutions Group, at $27,530.23 for the Transit Authority's network equipment is the recommendation.
Need a motion to approve the.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. And next will be the security cameras.
Yes, sir. Hold on, I have to catch up like you. I'm sorry. The next one, the same scenario. However, there were multiple bidders here, but in this instance, the low bidder did meet specifications. So the recommendation is to the low bidder, Advantage Tech, in the amount of $96,459.54.
Okay, need a motion to approve
So
the
moved.
Second.
bid of $96,459.54. And moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. And next up on is access control equipment.
I'm on the way, sorry. Access control is the same for the Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority new construction project. You had four bidders in this scenario, three bidders, and in this scenario, the low bidder in fact met specifications, and the recommended is Berry Solutions Group in the amount of $67,760.35.
So moved.
Been moved
Second?
and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Gary, is there any issues that we run into? Like, I saw we have one organization that's going to be doing two parts of that, and then there's another organization that's going to be doing another part of it. I mean, obviously their equipment has to work together.
Actually, there's no they do it all. This literally purchasing equipment, your IT does it all.
Okay,
This
so
is
we're just
parts.
buying the parts and pieces. Our IT department, the county's IT department
100%.
installs everything.
Absolutely.
Cabling, cameras.
100,000%.
Okay.
Yeah, in Commissioner Hardy, in this instance and in these projects, the Berkeley County Commission probably over the decades we do this, but in this project, you will reduce costs by 50% for that project and you can ask ex-Parks and Recreation Director Catlett
By being the installer.
by being installed.
That's amazing what they did for us over the years. Helps us save money.
Yeah, you really work well with your outside agencies in doing that.
All right, Gary, next up, salvage yard
So
complaints.
the last one, President Goganair asked that I'll just open the topic for discussion, and I think the purpose of this is many of you I know are personally dealing with complaints, be it a salvage yard, be it a public nuisance where there's dilapidated stuff all over whatever it may be. So I asked Anthony to do some research, and you have many references in code in there that kind of say what your roles and responsibilities, things in there. Most importantly, unbeknownst to us, the Planning Commission plays a role in salvage yard creation. I mean, they actually, quote unquote, permit the salvage yard. So It's crazy. I mean, DOH is involved, DEP gets involved, now the Planning Commission has some processes. So I think what we're asking for here is what's the appetite of the commission? Do you want to look at a public nuisance ordinance? Do you want to revamp your 1984 salvage ordinance? It's topic of discussion to get some direction of what you folks want staff to do.
Yeah, and I don't know, what the appetite for the people that actually have a salvage license. I mean, a salvage yard license is a very hard license to get. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure if the state is even issuing any more of them. They usually are bought and sold with a piece of property.
And your planning commission now is involved in that.
Yeah. So I would have to educate myself some more. And I think what concerns us is some of these, for lack of a better term, these car lots that have lots of vehicles that are sitting on them that are in dilapidated conditions and are not selling any cars. The cars are just sitting there kind of in perpetuity and not really being moved or sold, or and some of them are not in very good conditions. I have concerns about some of these full-time, maybe you call them full-time yard sales. I don't know what you call them, where people have stuff sitting all over the yards and covered in tarps, and I've got some complaints about some of those stuff. So, I don't know if there's an appetite in the commission to go back and look at some type of ordinance. I mean, we don't want to be some overstepping organization that oversteps, into people's private rights, but at some point there has to be something done with some of these properties that are just sitting with, for lack of a better term, just junk sitting around. And I'm a property rights, property owners' rights guy, but at some point in time when things become a nuisance or become
It creates an issue for the adjoining properties.
yes, sir.
It makes it very, very uncomfortable. And, we could have the ordinance and we could have that, but if we don't have any teeth in it,
We already have
but we have
things
no
in
teeth,
place to address this.
but we don't have
What
any
we
teeth.
don't have is the staff to go out and enforce it. That's where we're lacking, in my mind. I think we already have stuff in place.
I don't think that's.
I don't believe it's in order to, I think there's opportunity to get things drawn a little better.
Make it better.
I do.
But we do have
If you
some
want
already
to.
in place.
You have
But
some?
Brian's problem is he doesn't have time and staff to address it.
I think some of the issues that are going on and some of the ones that you're dealing with, you don't have your house in order if you so choose. And this is just, we're just asking for direction. And do you want to look at a meteor nuisance ordinance? Do you I believe you should probably at a minimum revisit your salvage ordinance, get it addressed, get in line where it should be. So, Mr. President.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all had multiple complaints, and this seems like it seems to be more and more all the time about dilapidated properties. And as John mentioned, a lot of some of the used car lots that are not being managed well, and the Department of Motor Vehicles actually oversees them and grants them their licensing. And I did finally get an answer on the phone this week when I called to Charleston, and they are doing some investigations on some of the local lots. We'll see how that works out. But when you have a person that is complaining that keeps his property very, very well maintained, and he is next to a property of somebody who truly does not care much about and does not live there about his property, I understand the concerns, and this opens up even a wider discussion between our local health department, the state health department, our engineering and permitting office, our sheriff's office, the West Virginia DEP, the West Virginia Health Department. We've been dealing with complaints, written complaints, on a community on the north end of the county called Potomac Park Estates. And get everybody in the room that you think can help solve this problem, and nobody has the teeth to be able to address the issues. Now, some of them, I think, my personal opinion, are health issues that need to be addressed. And the answer is public sewer. Well, public sewer is not in a position to service that area yet. So that's not the answer. the next problem is, if you truly do try to enforce some of these, the next step for some of those folks, unfortunately, is out in the woods. And I can tell you that my heart is, I don't have the heart to do that to somebody. If there's a way that we can find, and not all these are property owned by the people that are living there, but it's a mess, and nobody has answers. But the continuation of the problem exists. So that's why I just wanted to bring it out for discussion. Anthony, I see you sitting up.
Yeah, I want him and I want Brian to come up and speak about it as well, because he has to deal with it all the time.
Right, and it's also an issue for the health department. Me and Eddie, we had a meeting with the health department about it. So there's a whole host of things that we're talking about here. You're talking about the dilapidated vehicles and the car lots that are not active car lots. You're talking about the 365-day yard sales where people have the stuff, if you want to call them that, where they have the stuff sitting in their yards covered in tarps. And I think we all know what one of the ones we're talking about. There are a few of them throughout the county. So I think we need to adopt or at least look into some type of general ordinance that's not too obtrusive, right? This county has not been obtrusive of property owners' rights, but at some point in time, we have to be able to protect one another's properties from your neighbors. So
Those tarp yard sales, do they have business licenses?
They do.
They do.
Yeah. By the state, but
Right.
then once again, there's no
No, I know.
oversight.
I was just saying, if they didn't have a business
they
license, that's an
collect-
easy way to shut that down.
They collect their $15 business license, and there you go. You know? But I saw Anthony kind of lean forward.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what problem you're trying to solve, there's a number of different types of nuisances or problem properties, and there are some authorities that wouldn't necessarily require a new ordinance. I mean, we've adopted the International Property Maintenance Code, which there's not much staff there to enforce, but those actions can be brought before a magistrate in a criminal complaint. And there's one specifically for motor vehicles being out on property. It doesn't have as much teeth or as much tools for the county commission, though, if you were to adopt a public nuisance ordinance. The other thing is there are a couple instances where the sheriff or a law enforcement officer, or if you get a litter control officer who's non-law enforcement that takes this training from the DEP, that they can issue citations, civil citations, rather than having to go through magistrate court to and draft a criminal complaint. Those are for litter, for failing to have proof of disposal of your trash, and for having open dumps. And I know back when we first drafted the prior public nuisance ordinance, Ron Gardner, I think, was the county's litter control officer. I don't know who it is now.
I don't believe one exists.
But you could have one on this side, in Brian's office, somebody certified. They'd have to take some training, and then they could issue citations rather than having to go to court.
But it needs to be very narrowly scoped, because that last nuisance ordinance that the county commission considered was overreaching, and it went too far and it did too much, and there was a lot of people that got upset about that. So if we're going to do some type of nuisance ordinance, it has to be very detailed in its scope, and not. Berkeley County citizens take their property rights very serious. And as soon as someone tells someone they can't do something, they're pissed off.
Yeah,
And so whatever we design here, or whatever we put together for a nuisance ordinance, needs to be very narrowly scoped to the problems that we are having, so people know that we're not trying to reach in on your property and tell you what you can and can't do if you're not being a nuisance. If you have an open dump, if you have salvaged vehicles, if you have a yard sale that lasts 85 days, You know, it needs to be narrowly scoped to what we're going to do and not be very overreaching, because the last ordinance, I'm not exactly sure when that happened, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, that got a lot of scrutiny, and I don't think it was passed.
It was not passed. It had a number of things in it. One was push from the sheriff to try to go after drug houses and things like that, and that's of course the much broader powers. The authorities that county commissions have for cleaning up unsafe structures, that sort of thing. It's weird. You have to have this board set up of all of these different folks, and then matters come before the county commission rather than going through the courts.
Some of these things that are eyesores, is there a way to do an ordinance that requests or requires a privacy fence of a certain height, depending on how tall the things are on your property? You know, so if you got a place got a bunch of cars that look terrible, you'd be required to put in a privacy fence that kind of blocks the eyesore, or even the yard sale 6-foot fence that's privacy.
But see, I still think that's too broad. Let's go after the problem. Let's just don't try to give a reason. Let's go after the actual problem. Let's say if you've got 50 cars sitting on your lot that are
salvage yards or cars like that.
3 or more is unlicensed vehicles.
Are required
or is
to
it
have,
4 or more? One of the,
are required to have fencing, and you could have a law enforcement officer or the prosecutor prosecute that lack of.
Because I mean, one that's probably not been brought up. I mean, I was going to the radio the other day. That field on the right-hand side, it's a lot of like storage containers and tractor trailers, and you know, and it's right around nice neighborhoods right there, and it's just open field of that. You know, if they just had a fence around that, it would look so much nicer for the surrounding neighborhoods, and you know, but I don't even know if that's a farm or what operation they got going on there. But
it was a 2-acre parcel.
It was pretty rough looking. Yeah.
I'd like to hear from Brian.
Everybody stated good facts, and I know we talked about the International Property Maintenance Code, but what we've tried in the past has no teeth. We had a gentleman that we tried enforcing the Property Maintenance Code through magistrate court. You would get basically a 3 strikes, you're out. A warning, a written warning, and then if you don't comply, we're going to send it to court. So right there's 60, 90 days. Then we submit the paperwork to the court. Then we wait to get put on the docket. Then you have a pretrial. And then if they don't show up for pretrial, then that gets pushed out 30, 60 days. Or if you have a pretrial, then the trial's set. I'm already 9 months into something with no resolution. So then we finally do get a trial. And most of the time, all right, Mr. Catlett, I'll give you 60 days to clean that up. Let's revisit. Come back 60 days. Well, I partially cleaned it up, but not fully. All right, Mr. Catlett, we'll give you another 60 days. And I'm over a year into something to where I'm using a gentleman that does inspections and just does this on the side, and I'm not getting anywhere. And then a few times when we even had fines issued, they were never collected. Or they get sent to the DMV when they do their registration renewal on their vehicles, supposedly, and we don't hear anything about it. I agree something needs to happen, but I need something with some teeth. If you guys are looking for me to enforce this, to get results.
I like the idea of the citation thing, so we wouldn't have to go through the magistrate.
Correct.
Because that would get their attention and would cost them financially, right?
And that's limited to.
What are the 3 things it's limited to?
Littering, failure to have proof of disposal of the trash.
It's very limited. Yeah, me and Brian worked on a situation in Hedgesville where someone had an open garbage dump, and it took us a year and some change to get it squared away.
Right.
Well, we've been working on one since I've been on the commission on Route 11 South, up by Pikeside. Since I've been on the commission, 2.5 years.
And I've been in court with that twice.
Wasn't Jim's
Do better, Jim.
No,
do better, Jim.
No, we know where it is, and then we go to court, and then he
This is
complies.
the situation he's talking about.
And then 3 months later, he's back in violation again when the case was closed.
They have started remediating that property. The gentleman passed away, so it's.
Oh, no, that's not the property him and I are
the one,
talking
no,
about.
this is another
I know the
one.
that's two totally different within a mile. You're correct.
And this is why, Drew, I asked Gary to put this on the agenda, was to have this discussion.
Good conversation.
That we, as John stated, we do not want to overstate our rights, but at the same time, have something to protect the neighbor. They're the ones that deserve the protection.
I agree.
From their neighbor, you know?
Yeah, because in a sense, their rights are being violated.
Yeah, sure they are.
So if I hear the commission, we'll work on a draft ordinance for your
Sure, and-
digestion and.
And I'm
be
sure
back here at a
it'll be,
later date.
and it'll be a work in progress.
Oh, for sure.
We can read through it and it'll be something that try to fits everyone's appetite.
Yeah. But address the staffing issue, you would need somebody though.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, as large as this county is now, you need somebody full-time if we go to this citation thing.
I think
And that
at
would
least
need to be
one person
dedicated
maybe.
to that purpose only.
That's what they do.
And I know a lot of times that Brian takes on that responsibility, and that's not what
No,
Brian's
it's
job
not.
is.
No.
But he tries to answer our request and try to get something accomplished. But
If we do this, will we have public hearing on this as well?
Sure.
if it's an ordinance, we would, sure.
Yeah. I mean, Penny needs something to do in retirement.
So,
Somebody else is paying attention. Thanks, John.
But I would like to have, number one, I'd like to thank you all for the conversation, and as Gary stated, to get something moving so that we can take a look at it, and, it doesn't have to happen overnight. Let's work on this and try to get it as right as we can get it. And
So maybe a couple of weeks, we'll bring something to you and let you digest it and
Yeah.
start conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay. Let's go to end our meeting. Are there any items from the public? Yes, sir. Please come forward and state your name.
Morning, gentlemen, ladies. My name is Sean Wilt. I am a resident of Berkeley County. I've been a resident for about 30 years. I come to you this morning to bring something up, and I ask you to bear with me for a moment. I am legally blind. I had to print this out, so this sheet of paper is actually not much. I want to address something that's a concern to me, and I want to believe that you either are unaware of it or haven't looked at it in this way. In the legal profession, there is a term that is called fruit of the poisonous tree. And so that we're all on the same page, I'd like to tell you, the legal definition is the fruit of the poisonous tree describes a legal principle that states evidence derived from an illegal action by law enforcement cannot be admitted to court, similar to how a poison tree yields poison fruit. The reason I bring this up is because in the modern political and business climate, a lot of schools and universities are teaching a similar concept. It doesn't have a pretty name. It's called the results of the exploitation of conflict of interest. I think we all know what a conflict of interest is. If you don't, Google it. It's pretty easy. There are four, I guess what you could call, we all are aware of what a smell test is. There are four principles that a person can use, or an organization or a business, to determine whether or not they're stepping in a conflict of interest. It's nepotism, cronyism, breach of fiduciary duty, and then the possibility of corruption and misconduct. Any one of those things, if you feel that any one of those things meet what you're looking at, that thing is a conflict of interest. Last week, I sat at home and I watched your meeting, and Access Strategies paraded themselves up here, and they gave their presentation for 20 minutes plus about all the things that they do for Berkeley County, all the money that they save us, all the money that they bring in. And I'm not going to stand here and say that they don't. I'm sure that they probably do, but it's an estimate. Very little of it is actuality. The only thing that we get from Access Strategy that's an actuality, firm, solid number is their invoice every year for the $200,000 a roundabout, that we pay them. My problem is Access Strategies' entire business model is built on the results of the exploitation of a conflict of interest. And for anybody that doesn't know what that might be, let me make it very simple and put it in layman's terms. Access Strategies, their business model is built on the fact that Jason Barrett, a local representative who represents this county and this area in Charleston, is married to Summer Barrett, who works for, manages, or whatever it is that she does for Access Strategies. Now, there's a conflict of interest ring going on here. Jason Barrett with Charleston and representing us, his marriage to Summer Barrett, her working for Access Strategies, and them working for Berkeley County. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a lot of people in bed together, and doesn't really sit well with me. I would just like to say in closing, as a citizen of Berkeley County, I feel that I'm pretty reasonable about things. And I feel that any reasonable person that stands back and takes a big whiff of this situation, it stinks. It stinks from Access Strategies. It stinks from Charleston. It stinks from Summer and Jason Barrett. And then it leads right back here to Berkeley County. And there are a lot of people like me, gentlemen, who are waking up every day, more and more of us, that are smelling the stink in the air. Now, I might be legally blind, but I'm not legally inept, and neither are the people of this county. And there are going to be a lot of questions that are going to be asked. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Wilt. All right. Labor Day weekend coming up. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of our employees, and we appreciate their efforts, and all the folks that are out there working hard every day to make this place is what it is. So, yeah,
Steve, you want to mention the Labor Day breakfast?
No, I mean, it should be mentioned since it is Labor Day.
Yeah, it's my
longest serving tradition in the history of Berkeley County since 1951. There's been a breakfast except for 2020 when COVID hit. And we netted more money that year by having a non-breakfast fundraiser than we did, because we didn't have any expenses that year. It was all
Who got that thing started? That fundraiser? Who got that thing started?
in 1951.
No. The year we had COVID. Who got that fundraiser started on the radio?
WRNR.
Yeah. That was a good day. We raised a lot of money that day.
20,000.
Yeah.
very good.
So anyway, but you know what, talking about people and volunteers, it takes about 40 or 50 people that morning on a labor holiday morning to make that thing work every year. And we net anywhere from 15 to 20,000 a year, and all that money goes back into the park. And last year it was matched with other funds to build replace the Hollow Pavilion. This year it's going to be used to match funds from the LWCF grant coming out of the development office, monies from Eastern West Virginia Community Foundation Randy Smith Fund, monies from Senator Jason Barrett and Patricia Rucker, and also monies from the breakfast. And they're going to install a $150,000 handicap ADA accessible rubberized surface playground with their money. So wonderful, good stuff. And War Memorial Park is the nicest urban park, except maybe for Ritter Park in the whole state of West Virginia. Special place, and it's a living memorial to our war veterans that gave the ultimate sacrifice. And if you've never been to breakfast, and Jim's there, and some of you are there every year, it's kind of the unofficial end of summer party for Berkeley County. And of course, on election years, the buzz is a little louder, but the buzz is still there. And
Buzz Poland.
Buzz Poland's always there.
Yeah.
It is my favorite event of the year. It's my favorite thing to go to every year. I really always enjoy the Labor Day breakfast.
And somebody asked me, well, why do you still do that? You're retired from parks. I said, because I love it. It's a War Memorial Park, man. And it's a great event. So thank you for buying tickets, and for those of you who come out and help us.
A motion to recess.
Mr. President, I move that we recess.
We are in recess. Thank you.